Don't overconsume if you're going to underperform. Listen, that is a whole word. I came across that not too long ago and it really resonated. Like that quote really spoke to me and really struck a chord because I am the epitome of overconsumption and underperformance. Now, granted, I do consume, I'm very particular about what I consume. And so I'm very intentional about it. But there comes a point where it becomes information overload, analysis paralysis. I'm sure you've heard all the things. And so you just really start to gather more information and you tell yourself that you're just equipping yourself with everything that you need for what's to come and the things that you're going to do. And you just continue on this journey of gathering information, consuming content, really just getting more educated, which is all great. I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't do that, but there comes a point in time where you have to execute or the information is useless and meaningless. There's people will say when you know better you do better, but I really firmly believe that knowledge without application is useless. It's just information. And so it's really in the application where I think really things start to set in. It's not until you do something. I always say you learn best by doing. The best way to learn is to do. And so it's just something about the execution of it that really solidifies it. And depending on how you learn, right? So I think that there's just something that is a little bit more tangible and there's something that just really settles down and hunkers down a lot more when you are really applying and using the information and making an impact. You can learn about investing, right? You can learn about the stock market, you can learn about what companies to invest in, but until you actually make an investment, until you actually put your money in the market, your money is not going to do anything for you. So it's really useless to just have the information and not have the execution behind it. You've got to put your money where your mouth is. You've got to put your money where your mind is, right? So there are certain things that are really important on this journey of life. If you want to be a content creator, there comes a time where you have to stop just consuming content and you have to create content. There's a reason why it's called a content creator and not a content consumer. Consumption is a part of it, right? Because there are things that you do that are of benefit in the consumption journey. But again, there comes a point in time where you just have to say, okay, I've consumed enough. Now let me put some of the stuff that I've learned into practice. So really in the quote, it said, don't overconsume if you're going to underperform. I think not only in underperforming, but also like a lack of performance, right? So I don't want us to think about underperforming in the manner of like quality or skill set or ability, right? But I think just in terms of just performing in general and executing, right? So I don't want us to lose sight of the fact that there is just something beautiful about taking steps and progress and being on the journey. And I think something that can get misconstrued about that quote is that, well, we have to have it all figured out, right? We have to be in this place where it's all well put together. And that's part of why we get caught up in this consumption cycle, because we're trying to make sure we've got all our ducks in a row. We're trying to make sure that everything is picture perfect and everything aligns and everything is great and we're fully informed. And so I think that we have to make sure that we are distinguishing between performing like high level performance and high level execution with just general performance, like performing or starting just period, right? So when we talk about underperforming, we're not just talking about the quality or the level of performance, right? Being a high performer versus a low performer, but just in performing. There's so much beauty and so much to say about just starting on a journey and then having the evolution, having the growth, and being able to look back and see all the things that you've learned and be able to really see the growth. And again, it just really helps to solidify it even further when you just start to take action. When you work with the knowledge that you have currently, apply it, and then continue to learn along the way, there's just something really beautiful about that. And it really just cements it. So I really want to challenge you to get off of the mediums, whatever it is, wherever it is that you are consuming content, and just start to execute. And again, it doesn't have to be content creation. It doesn't have to be investing, but whatever it is that you are seeking, whatever it is that you are aspiring to do or to be, that you actually start to put the wheels in motion to start to achieve that. So wish you well. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.